Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Libra. So, the Sun has moved into Taurus, and we had a conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus. And that was a very powerful moment, and the moon was, of course, in Libra, in your sign. So, today we see Sun in Taurus, Moon in your sign. And we're going to the left, we're going introverted back to your new moon, because in the last reading you had Aries Sun giving the Libra full moon the light, and Aries is your opposite sign. Aries is that tower moment, right, that we want to let go of so that the emotional intelligence can come to us. And so here we see Taurus, the number 5, ruled by Venus, and here we see Libra, the number 11th, also ruled by Venus. So this is what unites you guys, and usually Earth and air is, not really like those kind of zodiac signs that, understand each other well. But over time, when we learn more to see what all of this means, we become more open to these opposite energies that are showing us. Taurus brings roots, Taurus brings the fixed energy of the spring, and you are in the sky finding here the justice and, of course, also the harmony. So this is the story that is right now once a year happening, right? But if we include all the other planets, then we see that this moment exists not only once a year, it exists actually once in your life. The yoga position for Taurus, I made out of the pillars a movement, and still we are reaching up to the information and we bring it then down. And for you, of course, we have the pillars, and those pillars are the duality that you sitting in between, and you're bringing positive and negative, yin and yang, into union here in the squatting. And you are the one that is actually letting us know that the 11 is the inner teacher, the wise aspect in us that is now appearing. You are the 7th house of love and partnership, and as the 7th house, here you are the Queen of Swords, and as the Queen of Swords you do cut heads off, right? And important is that you always recognize that you also put them back on, right? We cannot just destroy someone by a verbal argument. We also need to help them to find back to who they really are. So is your birthday between September 12th and October 12th, then is this your court card? If not, look please in the description below. I have listed all the cards that I'm using on their positions there for you to see what all of this means. Back to the last reading, we had Aries Sun giving Libra full moon the light, and the message was, when we let ourselves shine, we inspire others to do the same. And so here we see the whole reading, not just a few cards, right? And I like that because it's the full moon, so we want to see this whole message. Now, since Venus, love and beauty and also money, we are going to look with a special deck into Venus, and this deck is called the Inner Wise, healing yourself or become your own healer. And I'm going to pull a card. There's altogether 309 cards, and we're going to see what the number is. The number is the 85, and Venus is beauty and love, right? And so we want to look deeper into what is it that we want to give birth to, right? Because she's the one that is fertile. She's the one that brings the new ideas into existence. And so here is the raven, magic, consciousness, change in consciousness. When you are ready, then find the courage and fly into the unknown, into the dark of the night. Recognize the strength of the unknown, the magic, without asking for where it's coming from or wanting to understand it. Live the magic. 85 creates then, of course, with the 8 the strength, and with the 5 here the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is the messenger that is through the sun giving you the light in your subconscious. And so when we calculate it together, we get the 13, and the 13 is Scorpio, and we have now the full moon in Scorpio on Wednesday. And so maybe you're feeling this because the 13 is appearing. And then when we calculate it together, again, we get the 4, which is the Emperor. And that was, right, Aries Sun. And Aries Sun, you got the camel. You see it here as that one animal that is actually surviving almost anything, because it's quite a prehistoric animal. But very important, the 85, the 13, and the 4. There's a story right there just to be told, particularly for Venus here, the Empress, right? And so we're going to look when then the card for Venus is appearing, and we start the reading. We're going to the left to the new moon, right? You got until the last reading, 6 months, the reading to the right, and now you get 6 months the reading to the left. And we begin on the position of the Fool, which is connected with Uranus, and Uranus is the new beginning, and the Tower is appearing. And the Tower was Mars, right? The Tower is that moment where we notice it's time to let go. It's time that we see that the camel came, that the 16, the Wheel of Fortune, plus the self-love brings then the 7, the emotional intelligence. And so you are able to see that you have the magic that is coming. Remember, right, the raven, that you notice that through a change, through the Tower, which is Mars, and Mars is Aries, right? And so you did feel a big shift and a big change back in the last reading through Aries Sun that gave you the light for the full moon. And you're beginning a new cycle now to the left, right? And to the left we see here this person, to the right we see this person. And here it's an older person, a wise person goes more to the left. The young people want to go out, they want to live their lives, they want to experience what there is to experience, right? Old people, they're content where they are. So now in the position of the Magician, you get the Corn, and the Corn is the number 10, which is usually the Wheel of Fortune, right? And the Wheel of Fortune is here in the 10. And the Corn is also, of course, richness in the way you live your life. Plus the 1 is the 11, the inner teacher is appearing. And you see that the 13 brings you a big transformation, the way you see unfolding the magic, right? Because the raven came as an animal spirit through this card. And this is important for you to understand, because the magic is that you are rich. You don't need money to be rich. You need to be rich in knowledge, and then the money follows. But I want to know what brings the corn, because the magician is connected with Mercury, and Mercury brings us the information. Comes here the priestess of discs, and that's the 10th house of career. And that's Capricorn, and she's doing yoga, and she is content, and she is facing the right. And to the right, she understands certain things need to go, and so here's a 10-10 portal. Plus, of course, the 1, right? So we have 3 times the 1. If we calculate together, we get the 21, which is the world, and the world needs the change, and the world is changing. Things are falling apart, and it's good that things are falling apart. It is scary, of course, when something crashes down and we need to rebuild, but remember, the social ladder, the climbing of the social ladder is what here is the social status through Capricorn coming to you, that you want to make a certain amount of money, but also understand how all of this is functioning. Certain things need to go so that we can actually build new things, and that's not always easy, right? And so this is coming here directly to you as an explanation of what's happening here. Then on the position of the High Priestess comes the 8 of Wands, which is connected with the constellation Mercury in Sagittarius. And then things happen really fast, because the 8 and the 2 is again a 10. So you have quite the 10s right here. You had the 10, and of course the 10 here of the Capricorn, the 10th house of social status. And now you have another 10. And so you had 1, 2, 3 times, right, the 1 here. And now you get another 1, so you have 4 times the 1. The heart knows how to listen to your intuition. The High Priestess is here to let you know that things then gonna happen really fast, that you are connected, and that you understand that everything is just right. And the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus yesterday in 21 degrees of Taurus, right? Taurus, the sun in Taurus, and the 21 was here, if we calculate the 10 of the 10th house of Capricorn, plus the 10 was the 20, and the 1 the 21 degrees of Taurus, right? And so there was an information coming. A certain richness is not that the money is coming, the certain richness is that you know how everything is functioning, that you know that things are interconnected, and then things are happening really fast. With the 8 of Wands, Mercury in Sagittarius, the richness comes in a different way that you think of. Then on the position of the Empress, and we know that the Empress is now Venus, right? And for Venus we have here the number 85, and the 18 is the moon. So in your subconscious, you know exactly that something is pushing you to see now to the left, to see deep within you the healing, because the 18 plus the 3 is the 21 again, the 21 degrees of Taurus, right, where the conjunction happened between Jupiter and Uranus. And so then the 21 is the 3 left. And here we had the 4, the 3 and the 4, the Emperor and the Empress. Deep within you brings healing, the emotional intelligence, the number 7. So beautiful, right? And I can see there is something very magical happening, and that's the crow, the raven. Not the crow, more the raven, right? So it's a different energy. Crows are crows, and ravens are actually even more magic. And so we know and understand that here is something talking to you, quite important talking to you, right? Through the raven. Then Taurus. Taurus is saying, well, then we have Scorpio, the King of Cups, the 8th house of reincarnation, and we will have a full moon in Scorpio now on Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we have the 8 and the 5, which is again the 13, and the 8 and the 5. The 13, Scorpio transformation, big transformation, going back into your subconscious, learning, and the 4 is left. Then you can rule, then you can lead, then you can see that the sun brings now a new paradigm, because the beauty and the love and the money that the banks hold dear, right, then can flow and can be used. So mystical already, right? Then on the position of the Queen of Swords comes the 2 of Cups, which is Venus in Cancer. And we see the 2 dolphins, we see the 2 cups, we see the one hand that holds the lotus flower, and we see it's flowing because the 7 and the 2 creates the 9. The 9 is a completion, and the completion is always that moment where I recognize I understand something quite on a profound level, on a mental level, but also on an emotional level. Because the 2 is this exchange deep within me, and we had here, right, the 4, the Emperor, and we had here with the Moon, and then of course the 3 that was left here, plus the 4. The 3 and the 4 brought the 7. And then again you had here the 4, right? So there is something deep within you where you notice the more you're coming into a union, the more you understand that duality is actually a big prison. The moment I take a side, I'm not recognizing that the other side exists too, and I'm a prisoner of my own thinking, and I need to unite always the energies like we see it here. And the 2 is connected with the High Priestess, and the High Priestess brings you then here through the 8 of Wands something really quickly that you've been waiting for, maybe a relationship, right? So the 9 appears, and you understand, okay, I'm coming into a completion. Then comes Libra on the moon, or in the moon in Libra. We get the 9 of Pentacles, so a 9-9 portal. And here the 11, right, of the major arcana. I don't calculate this portal together. It's a portal. It's the 11. It's the teacher, the wisdom. We get 9-11, or the 11th 9. You can pick the date, right? And 9/11 is, of course, where this happened. And so see that you have a date, but see also that this is Venus in Virgo. And we had the 9 here. And so the 9 of Pentacles is letting you know you are understanding something, that yes, 10 of the corn and 9 of the Pentacles, right? In a way, that's 19. That's the sun. The sun is bringing you through Taurus, Scorpio, which is opposite of Taurus, right? And so Taurus is giving the light to Scorpio's full moon. And there is a message here. There is a message. There is a deep message that you need to look at and understand, right? Because the 9/11 or the 11th of September, right? It's important. It's like for you here in Europe, we can have both dates, right? Because the 11th is the November month, right? And the 9 is the September month. So you find your message here, right? Through the subconscious. Look deeper within into your subconscious. What is Venus in Virgo wanting to tell you? What is this healing wanting to tell you? The 13, right? With here, Scorpio, the healing, the 13. See the magic, right? Then in all of it. Then on the position of the moon as dream oracle, we get here the hand. In the hand, the universe is your partner. And this is interesting because we get the number 31, and you would think it's normally the 5 because we have 5 fingers. But we have the Empress and the Magician creates here, then the 4, the Emperor. And so the 9 and the 4 is the 13 again, right? Because the 18 calculated together, we get the 9 of the moon, Venus in Virgo. And so there is really a message, right? Notice it, the 13 and then the 4 is left. So you understand that there is a transformation coming through this full moon, because I want to see what is coming through the hand of God, and it's the 9 of Cups. So again, you had the 9, 9, 9, and you had 2 cups, and 9 cups is 11. Emotionally, you becoming wise in how you see the emotions, how you work with the emotions, and how you let yourself be now in the 9, because 9 is connected with the constellation Jupiter in Pisces. And Jupiter was in conjunction with Uranus. And you notice that the 4 that is left here, and the 9 again, the 13 and the 4 is left, right? The 13 is really, yes, Scorpio's full moon is going to affect you, is going to do something to you, and then brings out of you even more a leader, even more someone that knows that certain things are good for us and certain things are not so good for us, right? And that we see the difference, and that we not judge, and that we incorporate both, that we are not just, oh, stay positive, always this positive, always staying positive. No, we need to understand that sometimes I need to let go. And so here you are seeing that the hand of God is then your partner and is helping you to manifest, because on the position of the sun, we get the rain, and the rain brings the 35, and the 35 is the Empress and the Hierophant. And the fun thing here is that both of them are ruled by Venus. So Venus is here. Venus is saying, yes, you feel that Venus in Cancer, Venus in Virgo, is letting you know that here comes the 8, and the 8 is the 8th house of Scorpio, so the full moon is affecting you, because the sun in Taurus, and Taurus brought you this, right? And Libra brought you this. So the money is ruled by the hand of God. And you need to understand also that here the 9 of Cups came up. So the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups are the 2 most beautiful 9s. And it's like you are manifesting, you are creating, and something is growing deep within you, and you can make the magic happen. Use the raven to make it happen, because the 85 turns into the 13 and then the 4. And so the 8 and the 10 of the 19 is the 18. In your subconscious, you know something is growing, something wants to be expressed, and the 9 is left again. So what is bringing this? And it's the shaman, again, of cups, the king of cups. Scorpio, the Scorpio full moon is, yes, doing something to you. 2 times you have here now the 8, and you have the 8 here, and you have the 8 here, and you have had the 13 a few times, which turned into the 4. The transformation, there's a transformation to understand that you are getting deeper into the understanding what love really means. And so there's an 8-8 portal here, right? But the 10 and the 8 is the 18, and the 18 is the 9 and the 8 again is then the 17, and the 17 is Aquarius. Aquarius is the new age where Pluto is going in the end of November, and you understand that everything is now gonna go really fast, and the 8 is left, right? So be aware of this full moon, because now the last card here on the position of the universe, which is connected with Saturn, we get the 2 of Cups one more time. It's almost like saying, yes, remember the 2 of Cups on the position of the Queen of Swords. Remember duality. Duality is needed. Work with duality, understand how you take and understand how you give. And here it's this beautiful card, right, where we see Venus in Cancer. Cancer is healing. And so we have, of course, here the 21 turns into a 3. The 3 and the 2 is the 5. So Taurus is saying yes. Taurus is saying Saturn is going to bring actually a love to you that is magic. And again, it's in the deep ocean, because we had Scorpio, which is in the deep ocean. And there is something letting you know there is a deep dive possible with the 8, with a reincarnation almost. It's almost like you're reincarnating yourself and you're creating a whole new circle, because now you're going in, deep in, and that's what Scorpio brings you, right? Through here, the King of Cups. Maybe there's a Scorpio that you falling in love, right? Going deeper and exploring the 9, the happiness, right? So you have 9 cups, and here twice the 2, that's the 22, and the 22 is no one less than the Fool, and on the Fool came the Tower. The Tower is necessary, that things fall apart, they break apart, and they're falling, and here they are floating. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm falling, oh, it's gonna hurt. No, I'm flying. I'm actually flying into liberation. And so here the emotional intelligence of the 7, when we calculate the 16 together, is bringing you here the 5, right? The world, the 5 as also the hand. And the hand is saying, you know what to do. You know how to swim. You know how to navigate through this, because otherwise it would not be here. And so notice, experience, right, that something had to go so that you liberate and can swim and can enjoy and can be free. As the 22, right, here, the 22. And the 22 is the 4 that's left here, and the 13, that's the 4. But the 22 is the major arcana of the Fool. There are 22 major arcana, but the Fool is always the 0, but also the 22. So observe, watch, and see how things are talking to you, and how the Raven is coming and bringing you the magic. Bringing you the magic. And in that magic, maybe the next generation through Venus, right? Venus giving birth to the new generation. the new generation, which is here through Venus, right, in your subconscious, the moon. And the moon brought you the 9, Venus in Virgo, the garden where you can enjoy yourself and just be absolutely happy. I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the sun then in Gemini. And Gemini is in the 6 of the Tower, right, the 16. And so self-love appears, right, when you let go. And then the 7, the emotional intelligence. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.